patterns are important, patterns are not important. Form's important, form is not important. Why is the pattern important? Well, you need some kind of laboratory to work with. You need something to work with. That's why pattern is important. Not because the pattern's important, but it's the grounds to do the work. So the work here is song shoulder, right? That's what we're trying to investigate, what it means to song shoulder. Now, what most people end up doing is generally do something like song the shoulder, right? And move somewhere else so they can song the shoulder, and they make force somewhere else. And then they kind of keep the shoulder dead. So their shoulder is sung while it's dead, right? It's easy to be sung while you're dead, okay? Just Botox your shoulders to blazers and they'll be really sung, but you can't use them. This is not functional. So what we're doing is only moving from the shoulder whilst sung shoulder. Or, as I usually put it, the engine of the movement must be sung. Now this is why it's very difficult. It's quite easy to release part of the body, right, and then move some other part of the body, which is what most people just let their arms trail around and move the waist or something like that. Look, my arms are sung. It doesn't matter. You're just using force somewhere else, right? It's like a ribbon flapping around in the breeze, meaningless. It has to be that your actual movement is generated via release, yep, or at least in conjunction with release. So when he pushes and I go like I split, if I use force, he feels that tension in my body and it makes me uncomfortable. I feel stuck. Because that motion of the split is happening in my shoulders. Now if I'm using an external force, the musculature of the shoulder is clamping up and it gives him my shoulder. So he can touch my shoulder, he knows me. But the same motion, if I release my shoulders, I have all the advantages. He can't touch the shoulder. It's releasing. So the trick is, how do you move via release? This is the mystery of Tai Chi Chuan. How do you move via release? Not how do you move in a relaxed, chilled out state, and not how do you keep one part released while a different part uses force, just hiding your li. The goal is not to hide your li, it is to wash your body of li. So anyway, I do the first one, and then I come. Once again, if I have some force, I feel uncomfortable, because he can touch the force in my body, because song is relative. I go, and I go. So when he tries to cross me up, he gets stuck. He gets stuck because he's trying to press on something that's more sung than him. So we just go through the pattern, we'll find that on the other side. So it's here, right? If I try to, he pushes, and I push in on him, it captures me, because I'm climbing around and pushing, I'm doing a kind of wrong squeezing, a wrong G. In fact, this motion is roll back. So this arm is pushing, right? It comes out my chest, I roll back into this kwa. This arm is pushing, I roll back into this kwa. Both arms push, I roll back into both kwa. That's why I'm saying yield the arms, don't hold them out and cross. It's a backward motion. So I go here, 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 see? Here. Roll back. I swallow his force. Then he takes my arm. Yeah? I go here. He goes. If you're more sung than your partner, you can touch their movement source. Their movement source has contraction. Right? If they are not moving via release, their movement source has contraction. Touch the contraction, you have their engine of being, their movement, everything. They're always going to be owned by you. So what we're trying to do, why we're isolating the shoulder and not using the kwa and the whole body, is so you can learn how to move the shoulder within song via song. Right? Now, why the shoulder? Because it's connected to your hand, because it's the root of your hand, and you need to touch with your hand. It doesn't matter if your legs, qua, dantian, spine, everything is wonderful if your shoulders suck, because you touch with the hand. So every time you move your hand, this might be a delight to behold, but it's irrelevant because between the contact point and the delight is your hideous shoulder, right? So the first thing we need to fix up is the shoulders and make them very sung. So even if somebody jams up my shoulder, now I want to move my shoulder, have more stability, get root. So if he jams my shoulder, now I want to be able to move my shoulder, I have to be able to do it via song. Now if I use force to move it, he will capture me. That's why locks work, that's why taking away freedom is a martial arts tactic. Why you take the back, why the ground works, why it all works, is because they lose the ability to be free. So we train each joint in and of itself to be able to move freely, 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 so that I'm free and he's not free. If you are sung enough, they always feel like a piece of wood to you, compared to you. Like a piece of light wood, you just pick it up, you throw it away, right? Why can you pick it up and throw it away? Because it's all connected. Because it's not release, it's not song. So we work on one joint at a time, cultivate release in the movement. When you embody that over a long period of time, then you can focus on something else until your whole body is eradicated of Li. Yeah? Do you understand the purpose? The pattern is not the point. The pattern is not important, but the pattern is important. Okay? All right, try again with somebody new.